So it's been about a week now since the news broke that Forrest Fenn's treasure has been found, and I am gradually coming to terms with all of that. But there were a few things that I wanted to talk about in the wake of everything that's going on because there's a lot still up in the air right now. Like, we haven't heard much word from Forrest or anything from whoever the finder was about like locations or what's going to happen next. But there's been some like really cryptic videos coming out on YouTube, the most interesting of which is the one about like implying that there's going to be a continued search happening this time in the Appalachians. And there's certain parts in that video that like the text says like me and Fenn. So I'm very intrigued by this because I've been watching like all the lives by all the Fenn tubers and just kind of following along with what's in the news. And that particular video, it says it has the comments turned off, and it says that the comments will be turned on June 30th, and it also says that there will be more information coming out on July 4th. And as I've been watching all of the updates from Calazars and K-Pro and Indy and all the FenTubers, it sounds like I heard somebody said something about a quick claim deed taking 30 days, and then that would be on July 4th, and that's when they said there would be more information on this video. So like there's a little bit of a correlation there, which I'm curious about. And then beyond that, we all know that Fenn said that there were certain things in the chest that were basically a secret that nobody knew about except for him. And I'm wondering, like, this is just my own conspiracy theory, but I'm wondering if he possibly could have created another hunt in the Appalachians, and his intention may have always been to continue the hunt in some way or another, because he actually said that he hopes that the finder will continue the legacy or something like that. I don't know the exact quote, but I'm wondering if maybe Fenn wrote another hunt to be in the Appalachians and then put that in the box along with a note to the finder that's like, hey, take what you want and maybe make another chest, or keep this chest and fill it with your own things, or whatever the implications were of, but here's another set of clues, and could you go hide it for me and keep the legacy going? I don't know. It's just my own conspiracy theory, but more than anything, it's probably just like my personal hope for what's gonna happen next. And I've been thinking about it too. Like, everybody talks about like the amount of tax that you pay on that amount of money is like basically half. So in order to pay the taxes, unless this person is very well to do, like they might have to sell off part of it in order to pay the taxes. But I'm curious if they found it and then re-hid it someplace, then the money wouldn't stay in their possession. So then I'm thinking they might not have to pay taxes on it. I don't know. It's just a theory. But I'm really hoping that something happens as far as with the finder and Fenn doing something to continue the hunt in some kind of way, because there's lots of treasure hunts out there, and if you've been watching all of the Fenn tubers like trying to move on from this and like find a new hunt, some of them are done. They're just totally like, I'm this was the one that I was interested in, and I'm not interested in any of the other ones. I'm done. But some are trying to fill the void a little bit by checking out, the Beacon Star, Gallows Harbor, the Parish Treasure Hunt. A Gypsy's Kiss is going to be putting out their own hunt. And they got an anonymous donation of gold and jewels and money in the mail. I found out last night on GTC's live. Toby came on and said that yesterday they got an anonymous donation of all this stuff. So, like, I wonder if that's from the Finder, or maybe it's from Fenn. Who knows? It's super exciting. Either way, I've been checking out all these hunts, and I'm not, like, super drawn to any of them. Like, the Secret and the Beacon Star seem very complicated to me. However, the Beacon Star is somewhat close to where I live. It's in Denver, so that would be like, I ordered the book. We'll see how that goes. But that would be the one that I might try and get into because it's the closest to me. A lot of the other ones are on the East Coast, and that's a pretty big trek for me. But I am very interested in the Gallows Harbor hunt. I am planning on homeschooling my son, and I think that the Treasure Man, who is coming out with the Gallows Harbor one, he's like a historian, and he uses a lot of actual history to create these historical fiction novels that have the clues. And I think that will be really cool, whether it's the Gallows Harbor or like one of his other hunts that he's coming out with. I think when my son's a little bit older, he's only 2 right now, but when he's at that age that he's going to be like learning history and everything, I feel like that'll be a really cool way to get him interested, and we can kind of like work on the clues together, and then he'll also be learning history from it. Like, it's a really good teaching tool, so I love that. But the one that I'm definitely the most intrigued by right now, it's not out yet, so that's kind of like I'm anticipating the release of it, is definitely the Gypsy's Kiss hunt. A Gypsy's Kiss is based out of Albuquerque. Toby and Shelley live in Albuquerque or the surrounding area, and I'm from Santa Fe. So I was actually, when Toby came on to GTC's live last night and was saying that he was donated all of this random gold and jewels from an anonymous donor for his hunt, he was talking about something. They were talking about chess or something, and he said he was on the chess team at St. Michael's High School, which is actually where I went to high school and where my dad went to high school. And so I said something to Toby on the chats that, I went to St. Mike's too, and he said that the first 7 chapters, I think it was, in the book that he's writing for their treasure hunt is based around St. Mike's and stuff. So that's super exciting and cool. And when he went there, and when my dad started there, because my dad went to St. Mike's also, it was an all-boys school. And then when Toby graduated, it was still an all-boys school, but when my dad graduated a few years later, it had transitioned to a co-ed high school. But I just thought that would be a really cool way to get my dad involved, and maybe we could have something to bond over or whatever with a Gypsy's Kiss treasure hunt, especially because it's going to be Santa Fe back when he was growing up. It's going to be nostalgic for him, which is really cool. And then, I grew up in Santa Fe, so it's still going to be places and stuff that I'm familiar with, even though it's a different generation. So I'm super excited about a Gypsy's Kiss putting out their treasure hunt. But most of the other ones, they seem very complex, right away. The Fenn treasure hunt was definitely deep and complex, but on the surface it looks simple, so it draws you in. The poem really drew me in, and of course because it was based out of my hometown, that definitely had a draw. But I'm excited for new things, but I really want to see how this whole Appalachian treasure hunt teaser unfolds. I I don't know. I hope all kinds of things. There's so much unknown that it's easy to project like your own feelings onto the situation. But I keep coming up. I still keep coming up with solves in my mind, even though I know that it's over and the treasure's gone. Like my mind keeps like thinking of new things and new ideas of where it could be, like trying to solve it before the solve is potentially released. So like at least I can like tell myself, oh, you were close, like just make myself feel good about it. But anyways, I don't really have anything else to say. I just wanted to kind of talk about those few things that are going on. I know that I'm like not a Forrest Fenn YouTuber, that there's lots of big channels that have created a following based on all of this, but it's something that I was into. Like I'm definitely was like before it was found, I was totally a lurker. Like I would never comment on anybody else's videos, but I would watch all of them. So I guess now that it's out, I'm out. But it's been kind of cool, honestly, connecting with the community and kind of commiserating over the loss of this thing, like this hobby that we all had. And I kind of wish that I would have been more involved in the community before, but as people are choosing like what treasure hunts they're going to move on to after this one and everything, I feel like I'm going to try and stay active with different people that are kind of going for the same ones that I'm going for, and like just be a little bit more active in the armchair treasure hunt community in general. Um, Especially because I feel like it's a good way to connect with my family. Like I said, my dad and my son, and even my partner. Like I was telling him about the Gallows Harbor one, and he seemed kind of interested in that. But he's more like a support person. Like he was saying, like I'm worried about figuring out how we're gonna survive on your like treasure hunt ideas. Like if we're going out into the wilderness, like I'm gonna make sure we have all the supplies that we need and like all the protection and all the gear and everything. He's like, that's gonna be my role. And I was all, but you can read the books too and have ideas and we can like formulate them together. And he's down. It's just like he's more focused on making sure like we live through the process of looking for these treasures. So I'm glad that there's somebody practical that is looking out, because I'm more of a fly by the seat of my pants kind of like girl. I mean, when I went boots on the ground with my friend, we had my son with us and he was still really little at the time, so I could like put him on a backpack and we could go hike off into the mountains. But we took my car and we were trying to like drive down this like backwoods dirt road, and it was raining and muddy and we were like, oh, I'm afraid we're gonna get stuck in the mud, so we had to turn around. Like I was not prepared. Like, and I tend to lean towards like the not prepared side for things. So I'm glad that I'm usually around other people who are like super over prepared, because they take care of me a little bit. Like I'm just like the idea master and they're like the practical, like let's make sure we live, which is important. Thank God for those people. Anyways, that's all I have to say today. I guess I will be talking about this more. I don't know how much more I'm going to be talking about this. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I am definitely planning on being more active on my YouTube. I've got a lot of things to say and to just bounce off of people, and I don't have a lot of people to bounce ideas off of right now where I'm living with the current situation, and I just want to connect more with people that are interested in the same things as me, because it's been a while since I've had like a real community of people with similar interests and stuff like that. So anyways, thanks for watching and I'll catch you later.